Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. Today's What's for Dinner video is a special Addams Family Halloween Movie Night edition. This is the 2019 MGM animated Addams Family. We love all of the Addams Family movies, but we really love the animated. It's so cute. If you've never seen it, it is funny, it's adorable, and so I put together a menu based on that movie. So I hope that you enjoy today's video and that you'll give one or all of these little treats a try and do your own Addams Family Halloween movie night. Or it doesn't have to be Addams Family, it can be any, you can make these treats really for any spooky what's for dinner for Halloween. All right, and if you don't celebrate Halloween, you don't have to make them spooky, you can just make these same recipes. All right, let's get into today's video. First up, we're making Thing's Pizza Pockets. Now, if you've never seen the Addams Family, you may not know this, but Thing is basically a hand. It's just a hand and a wrist, and he moves around just like a person, has a little personality. So you can freehand this if you want. I am not artistic at all, and so I just bought this little hand-shaped cookie cutter on Amazon. It was only a few dollars. I've got some refrigerated pizza crust. I'm using the Walmart brand in the tube. Use your favorite. You can also use homemade. You could also use pie crust or crescent roll dough for this. Use your favorite pizza sauce. I've got some shredded mozzarella cheese, some pepperoni that I'm going to dice up. And really, you could put whatever pizza toppings you want in this. But you don't want to go crazy because, there's not really a lot of room for filling in these, as you'll see. And so you don't want to overfill them. Preheat your oven according to your pizza dough instructions. I've got a clean work surface here. I'm going to sprinkle a little flour on that just so my pizza dough doesn't stick. I took the pizza dough out of the tube and unrolled it, and then to make it a little bit thinner, I just used rolling pin. Y'all, perimenopause brain fog is real. But I just used a rolling pin to roll it out a little bit. And then I took that metal cookie cutter, and I did learn with this that, you do want to press down pretty hard and don't necessarily pull on the dough. If you have any resistance, use a knife to separate the dough. If you go to pull on it, you'll stretch the fingers. Now this particular night, I had a lot going on, and I did, I think 3 or 4 of these, and I was like, forget this. And I just used the rest of the dough to make a little spooky shaped pizza, which I'll show you in just a minute. So once I've got all my hands cut out, I put them on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. I'm going to add a little bit of the pizza sauce to the palm of the hand. Then I'm going to add in my pepperoni and cheese. And like I said just a second ago, make sure you don't go crazy and way overfill this. Now, if you do get a little bit of the pizza sauce out, like you'll see in just a second that I did that, it's not the end of the world. In fact, it adds, a little bit of spookiness to it. Kind of looks like blood. Now, if you're not really concerned about keeping these more on the pale side, which I wanted to keep them a little on the pale side because of Thing in the Addams Family, but if you don't care about that, it would be really delicious to brush this with some butter and then add some garlic powder, Parmesan cheese. But anyway, once I've got the toppings in there, I'm going to seal up the edges just with my fingers, pinch the dough together, pop this into the preheated oven, and bake these for about 12 to 15 minutes until your dough is cooked all the way through. And these were cute and they were yummy. There's a scene in the movie where they are going to walk over a bottomless pit in I think it's their basement. And all of these spiders, hundreds of teeny tiny little spiders, come out of Morticia's dress to form a bridge that they then walk across. And when I saw that, I knew I wanted to do something with spiders, and I decided to do these little spider cheese balls. Now, I used I think it was the Plain Chicken's crack cheese ball recipe. I'll link that down below. I halved it, and I just looked on Pinterest to get lots of ideas on how to do spider cheese balls, and there are very, very many different variations. I'll just show you what I did and then kind of give you some of the suggestions that I saw. So here are the ingredients we're going to use for these cheese balls, and really you can use your favorite cheese ball recipe. It doesn't really matter. I've got some cream cheese. Make sure it's really good and soft. Dry ranch dressing mix. Some cooked and crumbled bacon. I'm just using the packaged bacon pieces. shredded sharp cheddar cheese, and then I decided to go with these little Halloween rings to make the spiders. Like I said, there's many different ways you can do this, but this night I went for easy. So here in this bowl, I'm going to add in my softened cream cheese, and if you forget to set it out or it's not quite soft enough, pop this in the microwave on defrost for just like 10 seconds. You really don't want to go much longer than that because then you'll start to cook it, but that will help it soften right up. Once I've got that cream cheese added, I'm going to add in my ranch dressing mix along with the cooked and crumbled bacon, the shredded cheese, and then I pulled out the hand mixer so that I could get this mixed up really smooth and fast. So once I've got that mixed up, I'm going to take a little teeny tiny ice cream scoop, or batter scoop rather. You don't have to do this. You could just use a tablespoon, but I wanted to make sure they were all about the same size. So once I scoop out the balls, I'm then going to roll those in the pecan pieces, set those to the side, and then I did half in pecan pieces and then half in shredded cheese. Not for any particular reason. I was just curious how the shredded cheese would come out. Now, once I got all of these rolled, I covered them with some plastic wrap and popped them into the refrigerator for a couple hours to harden up. Here's what they look like, and then all I did was take some of those spider rings and insert them on top, and then yeah, these were so good. I served them along with some Ritz crackers. They were really easy and quick to put together. Now, some of the different things that I saw that you could do, instead of just using the little spider ring, is I did see several places where people rolled them in black sesame seeds instead of the pecans. I decided against that because I know black sesame seeds can kind of be a little bit overwhelming, but you can totally do that. Some people I saw used pretzel sticks to do legs for the spiders. So they did the little cheese balls and then stuck the pretzel sticks in for legs, and then would do like little pieces of olives for the actual eyes on the spider. I also saw where instead of doing the little mini cheese balls like this, you could do one larger cheese ball and then use pretzel rods and again the black olives to make the little face. But no matter how you do it, these were easy to put together. They were delicious. We all loved them. Next, I'm doing Pugsley's Mazurka Bites. If you haven't seen the movie, the Mazurka is like a dance slash performance with a sword, and it's basically a rite of passage for the Addams family. It's one of the main center points of the movie, and I decided to do Pugsley's Mazurka Bites, which are charcuterie sticks on little swords. So here's what I'm going to use to make these. Feel free to use whatever you and your family like, or what you've got on hand, or what you can find on sale. I've got some grape tomatoes, olives, some cheese cubes. Here I have cheddar jack and cheddar. Some little petite dill pickles, grapes. I've got green and purple, some salami, pepperoni, and then I got these little metal sword skewers, again on Amazon, just a few dollars. If you're not doing these for an Addams Family night, I mean, even if you are, nobody really cares. You could just use wooden skewers. That would be absolutely fine. There is no rhyme or reason to this. Every skewer that I did was different. You just, add everything to that skewer, whatever order you want. And then that's done. And like I said, you can use whatever you want, different meats, different cheeses. I think like marinated mozzarella balls would be good on this. Maybe some like marinated artichoke hearts. But yeah, once you get these assembled, you can just place them on your serving platter and they are ready to go. And you can also make these in advance. Just make sure you keep them covered and chilled. Next, I'm making Wednesday's Pet Socrates. In the movie, Wednesday's Pet Socrates is an octopus. And I've seen these before on Pinterest and never just got around to making them. We're going to make some octopusi, whatever the plural of that is, out of some hot dogs. These were super easy to put together. I was a little bit intimidated at first, but they were really easy. And really all you need are hot dogs, a good knife, and then a skewer is helpful. So what I'm going to do is take the hot dog, slice them in half. Now I will say though, I just use the hot dogs that I have on hand. I think bun length hot dogs would be better for this, but it really doesn't matter. So once we've got that hot dog sliced in half, you're going to very, very, very carefully, and I normally don't cut like this, but I was trying to show you all how to do it. So don't do like I'm doing, do it flat on a cutting board. Don't do it towards your hand like I'm doing. But basically you just want to make slits in the bottom. You don't want to go all the way through. You just want to go maybe a third or a half of the way up, and you want to make it to where they have 8 little legs. And then you can use the tip of the knife or a skewer to make eyes and a little mouth, and then that's it. You can absolutely make these in advance. Just keep them chilled. And then to cook these, you can boil them, you can bake them, you could grill them. I cooked them in the air fryer at about 390 degrees for just a couple minutes. Didn't take very long at all. And then those were done. And we love these. These were super cute. And then the little tentacles for the octopus, they got kind of, I don't want to say crispy, but a little bit crispy. So yeah, they were really good. And you could serve these with whatever condiments you wanted to. Next, we're making Gomez's coffee grounds. There is a scene in the movie where Gomez goes into a coffee shop and he wants something really strong, and he looks over to the side and says, "What's that? I want some of those." And he walks out and he's holding a coffee filter filled with coffee grounds, and he loves them and says they're delicious. Now, I was not about to just sit and eat coffee grounds. That's kind of nasty. But I thought, hey, you know what? I can make something that kind of looks like that. And I thought about around Halloween, usually I will make one of those like graveyard desserts where I take chocolate pudding, crushed up Oreos on top, and then decorate it like a little graveyard. And I thought, hey, without the decorations, that would look like coffee grounds. So here is what I'm going to use to make these. I've got some Oreos, or the Walmart version, doesn't really matter. Some chocolate pudding mix. You could use whatever flavor you want, whatever amount of milk the pudding mix calls for. And then I've got some coffee filters. You don't have to use these at all. Like I said, I was just doing it to go along with the movie theme, but you could totally just serve these, in any container that you want. So I'm going to mix up the pudding according to the package instructions. Make sure you use the pudding instructions. And then once I've got that mixed up, I'm going to place a lid on that and pop that into the refrigerator to set up a little bit until I'm ready to assemble these. Now, if you can find the little chocolate wafer cookies that don't have the filling of the Oreos, I would use those. I couldn't find them, so I just used the Oreos, remove the filling, and then I'm going to put these in a bag and just take a metal little measuring cup and just beat the smithereens out of them until they are crushed. You could do it in a food processor if you want to. So to serve these up, really simple. I just put the chocolate pudding into the coffee filters, added those crushed up Oreos on top. And y'all, I don't know if this is coming across on camera, but in person, these legit looked like coffee grounds. They were so creepy. And they were delicious. I mean, how can you go wrong with chocolate pudding and crushed up Oreos? So yeah, you can, like I said, make these as a little graveyard, or you can do these in the coffee filters, or you can just serve them up in any container that you want. Yummy little treat. The last little treat that I want to share with you is put the lime in the coconut drinks. In the movie at the beginning, Morticia and Gomez are getting married, and the officiator of the wedding starts out by welcoming everyone, and then, brings out a coconut shell and says, you put the lime in the coconut and drink it all down. And then they proceed with the wedding ceremony when they're interrupted by a mob. And as the mob approaches, the officiator, kind of yells at them, hurry up, put the lime in the coconut, drink it all down. And so they hurry up and drink it all down and then run and escape the crowd. So I will put the recipe that I used in the description box below. This is similar to a Brazilian lemonade. Some of the recipes that I saw called it that. Some called it other things, but call it what you want. It was a refreshing drink. So let me show you how I made it. Here are the ingredients I'm using. I'm using unsweetened coconut milk, sweetened condensed milk, some ice, fresh limes, and then in this cup here, I've just got some plain water. I could not find the blender attachment for my Ninja anywhere, so I just said, forget it. I'm going to use the food processor. So I'm adding the limes to this. I quartered them. I'm going to add the water and then blend that up really well. Once it's blended, you want to strain out all, the pieces from the lime that didn't completely process. So what I did was just took a fine mesh strainer, poured that mixture over the strainer into the pitcher, and then you can discard the limes. After you do that, you're going to pour that lime water mixture back into your blender. I'm going to add in the sweetened condensed milk, And the recipe that I use said not to add in the coconut milk at this point because it would get too foamy or frothy. So I went with the recipe. I'm going to add in the ice, blend it until it's smooth, and then pour it back into the pitcher. At this point, we're going to add in the coconut milk, give it a really good stir, and then you give it a taste and adjust the sugar to your taste. Now, me personally, I felt like I wanted it a little bit sweeter, so I added some sugar. But next time I make this, I think instead of using unsweetened coconut milk, I'll probably use sweetened coconut milk. But again, just to your taste, you may feel like it needs a little more lime. Just, do whatever you prefer. So I popped this into the refrigerator. I made it ahead of time. I chilled it for a couple hours and then poured it into the coconut shells. Again, just keeping with the theme of the movie with a little lime wedge on the top. And that was the drink. So here's everything set out. I got this candelabra in the middle at the Dollar Tree. And the little tree on the left and the little house on the right, I found those at Family Dollar. They were like $1 each. And I just thought the house looked like the Addams Family house and the tree looked like Ichabod. And then I got that little skull in the hands bowl at the Dollar Tree. I've got some black and orange tortilla chips. I just got those at Target. I've got 2 skull candles, again, got from the Dollar Tree with some purple and black flowers. They reminded me of Morticia. And then the spider placemat came from Family Dollar or Dollar Tree, I can't remember. The little spider web runner, Dollar Tree. The little blue votives I bought last year for my sister's birthday, and I just thought they looked spooky on the table, so I set those out. And then the serving trays either got at the Dollar Tree or Target. I've had them for years, except that 3-tiered spooky spider tray. I got that new this year. This was at the Dollar Tree. It wasn't in the dollar section. It was in their upper section, whatever you want to call it. I think it was like $5 or something. I did add in a few things just to kind of round out our snacks. In this black bowl is some salsa. It's just the Mateo salsa. We have the coffee grounds. And then in this black bowl toward the bottom, I just had some store-bought guacamole. I added a spooky spider that I already had on hand and made sure to wash it, of course. Then we've got our Socrates hot dogs. And on this 3-tiered tray, I put some Ritz crackers on top for us to eat with our cheese balls, which were on the bottom. And then I have the Mazurka swords on the middle tray, the Thing hand pizza pockets, and then I just did a quick veggie tray with some ranch. Like I mentioned earlier, I did take the leftover pizza dough and make a quick pizza. I used all the same things that you saw in the Thing pizza pockets, just the same pizza crust, the mozzarella cheese, pizza sauce, and the pizza crust, and then I just baked it according to the instructions on the pizza dough. But yeah, that was our movie night. It was really fun. We had a nice time. My mom and my dad came over, and we had a really nice time watching the movie and enjoying the snacks. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you will give some of these a try for your next family movie night. Like I said, if you don't celebrate Halloween, no worries at all. You can totally make these recipes without the spookiness Halloween factor. But if you are having a Halloween family movie night, or for Halloween itself, or if you're having guests over, give some of these a try. It doesn't take a lot of time or a lot of money. It doesn't have to have, a really cute, festive, spooky themed movie night. All right, again, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a thumbs up below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.